Competition Commission of India has ordered a detailed investigation into the country's largest airline, IndiGo, after finding prima facie evidence of abuse of dominant market position. Now, in an order issued on Wednesday, the antitrust watchdog said that its preliminary assessment showed IndiGo may have caused an appreciable adverse effect on competition by restricting services. The case relates to widespread flight disruptions between December 1st and 9th and period of peak travel demand. The Competition Commission also noted that IndiGo had cancelled over 4,200 flights during this period, accounting for a major share of its scheduled capacity. Now, according to the CCI, this effectively amounted to withholding services from the market, creating artificial scarcity and limiting consumer access to air travel. In its 16-page order, the CCI said such conduct by a dominant enterprise could amount to restricting the provision of services under Section 4 of the Competition Act. The watchdog also observed that given IndiGo's market dominance, consumers had limited alternatives, effectively locking them into the airline. The Commission has now directed the Director General of Civil Aviation to carry out a detailed probe and submit an investigation report within 90 days. IndiGo, in its submission, argued that the Competition Commission does not have jurisdiction to examine issues arising from sectoral regulation. The airline said matters linked to flight operations and disruptions fall exclusively under the DGCA, and any CCI intervention would amount to regulatory overreach. The disruptions were triggered after the DGCA enforced stricter pilot rest and duty norms, which reduced night flying hours and increased weekly rest requirements. The CCI cited extensive market data to underline IndiGo's dominant position in India's aviation sector. And Air India on Wednesday said it has completed inspections of fuel control switches across its entire Boeing 787 Dreamliner fleet, and no issues have been found. The airline had ordered the checks earlier this week following an incident involving an Air India Boeing 787 after a pilot reported a possible defect in the fuel control switch. The incident occurred on Sunday during the engine start of flight AI-132 from London Heathrow to Bengaluru, which had over 200 passengers on board. Now, according to Air India, the fuel control switch of the aircraft's left engine did not latch in the run position twice during engine start. On the third attempt, the switch was properly locked and the aircraft later operated normally. Now, as a precaution, Air India grounded its 33 Boeing 787 aircraft on Monday, of which 28 are currently in operation pending inspection. Now, in a statement, the airline said no technical faults were identified and that the checks were carried out purely as a safety measure. Air India also acknowledged the regulator's proactive oversight and said it will circulate OEM-recommended operating procedures to all crew members. The airline reiterated that the safety of passengers and crew remains its highest priority.